What up, what up, what up? Yo, we are back. We are back. We are back. You know what it is. It's your boy, Coach Paul. That handsome young fellow over there is my co host, Jay. And today we have the Open Division champion, offensive coordinator, recruiting coordinator from the LA City section Open Division from Carson High School, Coach Edward Humphreys on the show. Yo, welcome to the
Going
show,
on,
Coach.
everybody? What's going on?
What
What's
up, what
going
up, what
on,
up?
man?
Welcome in.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into this, before we kick it off, I want to tell all our viewers, all our fans, everybody that reached out to me and sent me a message and checked on me over the last couple months and checked on my family. We appreciate you. We are thriving in the situation that we are in. We are making progress. You know, we are trying to do the best we can. But me and my family, we all send you guys our love and we say thank you for checking in and making sure and sending your prayers. So without further ado, let's kick this bad boy off. It's good to be back, Jay. It's good to be back.
Yes, sir. Quick message on my end. Welcome. Now I'm already stuttering. It's been that long, but yeah, just grateful to be back and have another platform as well to just show love to the city section and just talk about high school football.
Hey man, it's been far too long. It's been far too long. So let's kick this off. Hey coach, you did something that not many people do. You left a private school job in the southern section for an LA City section job. What went into that decision to leave your job to become the OC at Carson?
Man, one thing that I've learned, well, first of all, it's good that y'all back, man. It's the number one platform for CIF LA City section. Much respect to
Yes,
you guys
sir.
and everything you do to bring attention to these programs and these young men and staying loyal to the soil, man. Appreciate that so much, man. You guys have been accessible and you guys support's free, so everybody like, subscribe, chime in, man. Let's blow this thing up bigger than what it already is, man. But
Yes, sir.
as far as leaving the private school and coming to the LA City section, when you coaching in this game, it's hard to find solid head coaches to work for. I had the opportunity to work with Coach Lowe at our previous program and turn that program around. And everybody wants to be the number one stunner, but nobody really wants to be a good number two. And I appreciated the way he carries himself, the opportunity not just to coach on a staff, but to grow as a coach in this game, not to be micromanaged, but to allow me to use my creativity to help push the vision and everything that he set. So I always told him, man, I'm going wherever you go. We had success in the southern section, being at our previous school, means a private school, about 250 enrollment, about 70 of them football players, go playing against these schools, 2,500, 3,000 enrollment, and going from where they had won a state championship, kind of fell off after 2016 when they won that championship and wanted to get back, and going from, Division 14, because Southern Section has 14 divisions in it, to jumping up to Division 7, seeing that progress and that growth with no facilities, to now we get the weight room, we get the stadium. We're getting the guys in. We're 2-8. Nobody wants to really talk about you when you're taking over a program that's 2-8, right?
Facts.
Then you see the growth in the 4 and 6, and now colleges are coming on campus and seeing these young men, and we're getting kids out to eventually getting to the point where back-to-back Southern Section playoff appearances, being undefeated conference champions, against all odds. So I watched him turn down a lot of opportunities. I mean, a lot of programs came up to him, and wanted him to build there. And I saw his patience and being like, no, I want to build. And I've learned everybody's not built to build. But I'll never forget that day I went in the weight room and I just kind of saw it on his face. And I was like, it really wasn't a conversation. I think it lasted 17 seconds. I just told him, I said, hey, man, I know you, so wherever you're going, I'm going. And he just looked up and was like, you want to go to Carson? I said, hey, I'm down. And that was no matter the role, whether it was the offensive coordinator. A lot of people know me as an offensive coordinator, running back coach, recruiting coordinator, but I started on the defensive side of the ball. And I was a DC, I was a D-line coach, and I'm just a student of the game, constantly growing. But he asked me to come in there and OC, and it wasn't a thought for me. I said, we there. So the doors were opened up and we've been blessed ever since, man.
I love it, man. I love it.
I'm just kind of curious, how many private schools have you coached at? Was it just the one prior to Carson?
Yeah, so that was my first private school. That's a total different beast and experience. Man. Let me tell you, when you have the public schools, and I mean, I can't even say, I won't say, you're going to have kids, right? And so when you're built, you can just wake up and you can count on, a certain number of kids, and you can walk the halls and, and recruit guys from the hallways. Hey, come play football, man. Come try it out. There, not only were you trying to build a football program that was competitive, but they got to pay for school, so now you're like, okay, I have an opportunity to go to school for free. Why do I need to pay $13,000, $15,000 a year? Like, make it make sense, So we had to, sell ourselves as coaches and the development and the opportunity to get to college playing the sport that they love, selling the brotherhood. And I mean, it builds a work ethic in you, man. When you, again, them schools that got the 2,500 kids, 3,000 kids, they're not going to take it easy on you. They're going to strap it up every Friday night, come lay the wood, but at the end of the day, it just, it breeded a work ethic. So when we got to where we are now, man, we solid, because now Carson got so much talent, and to be able just to get there and shape, but it set the foundation, to where we are now.
What are some of the differences, especially in the eyes of an OC slash recruiting coordinator, from Southern Section to City Section?
I would say the resources that you have in Southern Section is different than what we have in the City Section, and from a standpoint of just the way we can fundraise and get the finances to be able to get the equipment, get everything that we need, to supply our guys, So I think that's like the biggest thing that I've seen coming from Southern Section to CIFLA, and I know that we still have resources. I'm not saying they don't give us any type of we are at administration here. It has been a blessing. They support. It's so easy to work for a school with a minute behind athletics. But at the end of the day, I can go to many Southern Section schools and walk into a situation where I can sell it. You can see you have the resources there to be able to do. The other thing is, from a competitive top to bottom standpoint, I mean, you have to, every week you strapping up, and it doesn't matter really where you fall. The gap, I mean, Southern Section is like Division I, where we have the Boscos, Mater Dei, Centennials, and all that. You have that tier. Mm-hmm. Division II is very competitive with, if you're getting that Division II range, the Rancho Cucamonga, Shaps, and all these other schools that make that. But honestly, that Division III to Division VII, it's like the margin is like that, So
sure.
You have to be very smart in how, when they changed the whole playoff format, who you're playing in non-conference is huge. Some schools, I think it was a Thousand Oaks team. I'll never forget, they was when I first moved out to Cali, they just changed the playoff structure. Thousand Oaks went undefeated, but they got bumped up to like Division III. And it was like, they weren't built for that at that time, so what's the, great season.
Not at all.
That had, they go undefeated and you get in the playoffs. It's like you never even practice, But at the end of the day, people started taking notice of that, and that's why you see now, man, scheduling, trying to get a game, you literally have programs like, man, you too good, or we don't need our strength of schedule to be so high, because they don't want to end up in the playoff bracket or tier that they really don't fit. But on the flip side of that, you go and you schedule those games and schedule against guys, and you have that competitive equity Where non-conference, I can lose every game and non-conference get blown out. But as long as I
Facts.
perform my conference and have the right amount of teams, I know I need to get top 2 or top 3. I'm in the playoffs. So it's those little differences there. Coming to the city section, I believe now after a full year being in there, I'm starting to see the competitiveness and the drive to because there's this knock that, oh, it's just city section, like we the redhead stepchild. And forgive me for anybody got red hair. I would, that's just how we say it. It's where I'm from, but it's like they think that, oh, we playing a city team, like you can take a breath. No, you can't. And it's not just one team, one program. You're seeing teams like Carson. You're seeing teams Southgates. You're seeing, the all these teams that Marquez is trying to come up, and the Hamiltons and all these schools, the King Drews. You can say what you want to say, but there's almost like a revival now, man, where we're seeing everybody scheduling Southern Section teams, and because it's not about being we play for CIFLA or City Section, but all these programs are focused on the bigger picture, which is you're trying to build a solid program in the state. You're not just worried about where we are.
Right. And so before I get to my next question, that leads me to one of these things. Like when I first came to the city section, right, I was at HP, and you saw the schedule. Like I had saw that HP took a swing and they played St. Paul the year before. Like, you have those coaches that are down to take a game that they know that they may lose, but they want to see how they compete in. The one thing I've noticed in the last 2 years is everybody's stepping their game. And now they're like, yo, we're going after the big dogs, like those Division 6 teams, those Division 5 teams. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys are taking on Lincoln. That's like that's compared to like one of I say Birmingham trying to take on a Lucerna or a Monrovia, and they scrimmage them, right? So do you see it continue to progress in the future? Do you see I know you guys established something, Southgate's establishing something. I know Birmingham's always in the works, but I know King Drew's trying to do it too. Now that the standard has been set, do you see it progressing where we'll see these heavyweight matchups in the future for years to come?
Absolutely. I think that, and there's a lot of factors that I believe play into that, man. I see it going to continue to just grow and get bigger and progress forward, like you said. And I believe the factors in there is, one, young people are going to want to play for programs that want to smoke. So
Facts.
With the opportunities that are available to play against these perceived logos and names, and it's not that respect to them for building those conglomerates, but for building these programs where people want the logo on their chest. Hey man, go play against them and beat them, number one, and get that film, because film is king, right? When you get on the field, you don't want to go somewhere and be number 138 on the depth chart. Oh, go be number 2, work your way up.
Hey, we see it all. We see it all the time, though. I'll go ride the bench at Modern Day when I can start for the school that I live down the street from.
Yeah, right, man. It's crazy you bring that up.
That is too. It's like, I can practice against the good competition and practice every day. I'm gonna see the best people every day. Well, it's gonna be hard. This is for since we're talking about our section, man. If we're winning and we're putting kids in college, that's what they want. So if you can get a program that wins, and you have to define what win means to you. You're not going to win a championship every year, but if we can be competitive every year and guys up and down the roster get to go to college, and Coach Lowe drilled that in my brain. He put that in my brain housing group. He's like, Coach E, all we got to do is win and put kids in college, get kids out, and kids are going to want to stay. We can jump on the bandwagon and complain. The Bosco's this, the Modern Days this. They put their time in, they grew. But at the end of the day, we can complain about how, a lot of the kids are leaving out of LA to go play for these schools, or we could create a culture where they don't want to pass that up. I'm not going to hate on the next man for what they built. I'm just going to build something special and say, come rock with me. And those that want to be there, those are the ones that are going to run through a wall for you. I don't want somebody that's back and forth and don't know where they want to be at, because then I can't trust you even to run a play, because you're gonna be
Facts.
back and forth doing that. But if you get it here, you like, man, I want to be here, and our job as coaches and building these programs is to give our kids a reason. I got to give you a reason to want to put Carson. And that's the fun part of coaching, man.
I heard that. So, being in the city section, good or bad, have there been? Jay wanted me to ask this question because he's asked me this question, right? He's like, has there been any surprises, good or bad, that you've seen in the city section? I was really hesitant to ask this question just because of the league, like your league, but you know what? Has there been any good or bad surprises that you've seen in the city section since you got here?
Man, let me see how this question.
Right? That's what Jay told me to ask. He was like, "You got to ask it." I asked you. You got to ask him.
We're asking the tough journalistic questions.
So no, there have been some surprises. One, I'm a humble guy, man. Much respect to Birmingham building that win streak that they had, right? And you go winning 70 plus games in a row. I don't care where you play at. That obviously you're doing something right? But big ups to 15 kids that strapped it up and was like, I don't care
The Crenshaw team.
what this perceived giant may be. We saw Crenshaw go in and have heart and went in there where other teams might have tapped out because here they weren't locked in. I honestly think they had a hard road to get to where they got to the Open Division Championship. They have to go in to Pedro and people counting them out against in the Pedro game. Then they go on. I think they play Palisades. I think they played.
No, Garfield played Palisades.
Garfield played Palisades. After their second round game, they had to go in and win, and then going and knock Birmingham off. It was like, so that was a surprise to us because I ain't gonna lie, like we were all year like, hey man, we gotta get ready for Birmingham.
Yeah, so
it,
yeah.
it kind of shocked us. We was like, okay, we're gonna have to come with it. The other thing is a surprise, and is the quality of young men. You hear all this stuff, the city this and all this stuff, man. But these dudes are some of the best kids I've met in my life. And they have a drive, they have a want to. You're gonna have to coach like anywhere. But man, these kids, they run through a wall for you if you just take the time to invest in them. Even when they want to be little knuckleheads every now and then, they respect the consistency, the accountability. Then also, I'll say it, the other surprise is how much junk people talk, but then when it's time to put up, it's just like, all right, all this for that.
Yeah, that's everywhere. That's everywhere, man.
Yeah, but I love it though because they have a pride for where they are. When I went to college, I went to North Carolina A&T State University my freshman year, and they put us all in the gym, and they like, hey, who's your favorite college? And everybody was like, UNC Chapel Hill, NC State. They was like, no, it's not. It's A&T, and they put that pride in you. You talking about 3,000 freshmen that they sitting in one plot and putting the pride of where you are at, and that's what I love about playing where we are and coaching where we are. Because you're gonna represent, and show that love for sure.
Yeah, man, you made three great points, three surprises rather. I want to cover the first two specifically. The second one being the type of man or type of kid rather, that you kind of seen throughout the city section. I would agree. I would have had the chance to cover a lot of games, go to a lot of games. Been on the Carson sideline for a few. This spring went to 2 college showcases, and the LA city section geographically does cover some lower income areas in LA, South Central LA, things of that nature. And there is a stigma or stereotype that a certain teenage kid, especially a male on a football team or just on the athletic team, either team, is supposed to be or act some type of way or live some type of lifestyle. And I'm here to tell, all the viewers and you guys that that's wrong. I've met many great men, stand-up men who are going to be doing great things in the future. If it's not playing college football, going to trade school, just going to a regular 4-year as a student. So that's a great point. And the Crenshaw point as well, man. I I was with you. You mentioned going into the year, it's likely Birmingham Carson. I was on that same boat. And I mean, you mentioned the 70 plus. I forgot what it was now that it's kind of over the streak,
Like
but I
70.
forgot what it was. Something like that. I was
It was a lot
victim.
to zero.
I was a victim in three of those games. You know, we played. I went to Taft High School. We're in the same league, so I know what it's like to take a beating from Birmingham, have the running clock third quarter. I was a victim, but man, it's crazy. I still vividly remember this. I went to that game. It was the semifinal Open Division game last year. Birmingham host Crenshaw. Birmingham has their JV guys called up, so it's like 70, 80 dudes all taking up the whole field to warm up. Crenshaw arrives with 25 guys who 16 of them are only going to play. 16, 17 are going to play. And Birmingham receives the ball, first drive domination. They run the ball down the neck, they're moving the ball, and I'm like, okay, I've seen this story before many times. Birmingham's going to score, knock it in, score's probably going to earn 49-14, something like that. And then after that, it's like you can see it in real time. A flip just switched for Crenshaw, and yes, Birmingham had mistakes on their own, but like that, and I'll never forget it. Just seeing in real time how much the crowd bought in after that first drive, and the players, because motivation is a hell of a factor, and seeing them pull off was crazy.
I'll never forget the text message I got from Jay. Bruh, I think this is gonna get ugly. Like,
Yeah,
I was like, what do you mean?
after the
He
first
was like,
drive, yeah.
after the first drive, I was like, Jay, what do you mean? He was like, bro, he's like, they got like 15 guys that are playing the game. There's 80 guys on Birmingham sideline, and there's only like 20. If somebody gets hurt, this game's going to get ugly before halftime. And then I'm checking Max Preps, and I'm like, Jay, is this score right? Jay, is this score right? And he's not responding. So now I'm texting him, Jay, is this score right? And then he finally texts me back, and he was like, yes, this is right.
Crazy work.
Yeah, it was
Crazy
crazy,
work.
man. Yeah, I just had to relive two very good points you brought up. But yeah, let me get into
Then
my
the other
question.
thing I'd say
Yeah,
too,
go ahead.
real quick, is the other surprise when we talk about winning. How Coach Lowe always told me, man, we win and get kids out, kids will stay. You know, the numbers, man. We welcomed over 30 plus freshmen. You know, this summer. You know,
There you
so
go.
now
Congrats.
we're over 100 plus kids in the program. You know, so it's like when you do things the right way and you stay on task, and I see other programs growing and doing the same thing, man. It just it's good stuff, man.
Carson had statistically the hardest schedule in the city section last season. More specifically, that guy's gauntlet non-league schedule that included like North Torrance, all these Via Park, all these great teams in the southern section. How do you feel that non-league schedule prepared you guys for league and playoffs?
Before you answer that, I looked at your schedule last season and said, what were you thinking? But go ahead. You can now answer it because it paid
We'll
off.
get into that in a later question.
Yeah.
I believe it paid off tremendously for us, man. Our team, we were babies last year. To be honest with you, you know, as far as the age we're heavy 27, heavy 28. You know, we had some good 2026 guys, and quite a few of them are going on and playing in college. You know, still working on a couple of them that have opportunities. I just was on the phone with a school today about one of our 26 offensive linemen, you know, to come and play, you know, some Division III ball. And you look at guys
There
like
you go.
Xavier Allen, man, got accepted to every school under the sun, going to UCLA on a full academic ride, you know, and those are the things. Our Noah Castillo got accepted to UCLA, UCSD, going a medical route. You know, these are the things, man, that everybody gets so caught up in I got a 5-star, I got a 4-star, man. We building young men. And that's where that schedule, though, to speak to that question, we were a new staff coming on. Shout out, I think we have the best staff in the world. You know, our head coach, Coach Lowe, assistant head coach, Coach Jack Sula in DC, our DC Jeff Johnson. I say we co-OCs because it's really what it is, man. Myself and Coach Eric Richardson, pass game coordinator. We got Coach Will. We got new coaches on the staff now. Coach Charlie, Coach Norris, Malele. We have some guys. Coach Vega, a lot of people, man. If I forget anybody, forgive me. You know, it's a lot of coaches now. But Coach JB, I mean, we had some coaches, but coming on as a new staff with a new program, those first games in non-conference allowed us to get all the kinks out. And what do I mean kinks in? You have to get your kids to buy in. And we can go to every clinic in the world and we can do all this stuff, which we do. Like, we're students of the game and we give all the great speeches, but sometimes it takes getting popped in your mouth for kids to be like, you know what? They know what they're talking about. And one thing that Coach Lowe teaches us, man, is that players don't lose games, coaches do. So we when we're coaching these young men, and even if they're not listening to us, that's not the kid's fault. We did not do our part to get the kid to buy into us enough to trust us. So we got popped. Villa Park, all right, boom. We lead in the game. We up in the game. You know, everybody's excited, and because, you know, and we jump off sides on 4th and 5. Okay, undisciplined. We gotta do better. You know, they bled the clock down, scored. You know, we get the ball back. You know, we drive over half the field. You know, with 47 seconds left to be in position to win. We don't close it out. You know, so we dropped that game. You know, then we have the Dorsey game comes up, and you know, Dorsey, they put out a lot of content online and how they were going to do this and do that. And what it showed us for the kids is y'all get distracted. Don't get distracted with what's going on there. We have to keep the main thing and play football. You know, and we won that game, but why was it so easy for us to get up here for that game, but not the week before? So now we have to not only coach football, but coach the emotions of the game and how to regulate that, not get too high, not get too low. You know, then we go to Palos Verde, probably the weirdest game I played in my life. You know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, we went in there and we got people still talking about that now. They beat us. Okay, they beat us. Now we're not the same team, so I'm put that out there now. We're not the same team, but.
That's right.
You know, they beat us, and we had to eat that. You know, we had to eat 3 overtimes against North Torrance. But the North Torrance, something flipped in their mind, and they was like, you know what? The kids, they were like, all right, there was a buy-in from coaching staff, kids, everybody came together. And we went on that run. We played against a stacked Pius team, and, you know, 20-6 came out with that. And the kids started believing in themselves because they started seeing the success and they were listening. And it helped us get through those games, helped us because we didn't really get a lot of – we kind of held back last year. That's just a nice way to say it. So, like, when we getting up and you know, the score is what it is, we're pulling guys back. We ain't let them off the leash. You know, they got their work on the front end, which we had to make some adjustments this year, which we can talk about later about that. But going into the playoffs, because we had that adversity when we found ourselves in those situations, you know, of having to take some tough knocks on the chin, things not going our way, when we get in a rainy game like King Drew and it's, you know, a tsunami outside, and all we could do is run, they weren't fazed by it because we experienced some adversity and we were able to come through it. Not just as players, not just as coaches, but as a program, and it paid off for us in the end.
Yes, indeed. It paid off at the very end. You got a City Section Open Division Championship, something that hadn't happened for Carson since 2003, which is just before my lifetime. How does it feel to win a championship in your first year as an OC?
Man, it was a blessing, honestly, and it took all of us. Like, again, when I say – if people always ask, like, how do y'all operate on the sideline as coaches and all this stuff? Man, I'm not calling plays 100% of the time. I call some plays. Coach Rich call plays. Coach Lowe, he's a head coach. He'll come in override everybody. Be like, no, we running this. We be like, yes, sir. You know, it's just a mutual respect, man. And we all, one thing I tell people, and I believe this with my whole heart, you're not going to out-scheme us. Just not. You might beat us, but you're not going to out-scheme us. Like, we know the game. And but to do something in a city that's rich with football history, you see all the guys that have come through Carson, played in the NFL, you know, went to college, and you saw how the community came together, you know, and I think that I remember that Thanksgiving week when we were practicing and we brought all the alumni back and everybody was out there. Man, it was dope to really just see the love. You know, we say cult love all the time, but it was tangible, man. it was tangible looking up in those stands at the Open Division Championship and seeing how many people were out there, in the stands on the sideline, cheering these young men on, because Carson's a program. It's not a team. It's a community, so it goes beyond us. And I think it keeps us humble, to understand that every time we step on the field and we play, that it goes beyond those 100 kids we have on the sideline, and we're playing for something bigger. But it set the foundation to understand this is the standard. We don't come down from it. And I say this humbly, if we did that in less than a year, give us more time and let's keep building and see where this thing can really go. And it's a testament to them young men, man. The talent that's there is a testament to it.
Coach, you just touched on it. You said that it's bigger than just a team. If you guys can hear the horns, I live in East LA. Mexico won World Cup, so excuse the horns. My Whittier Boulevard is going nuts right now.
It's lit.
But you mentioned Colt Love. I was recently at your school, like you invited me to a workout, right? And as you drive up to the school, there's a beautiful mural on the side of the school that says Colt Love, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think this championship means to the city of Carson and the South Bay in general?
Man, I think it means a lot, man. Honestly, like with the school community, the community of Carson, South Bay region, there's a lot. Let's talk from a city of Carson standpoint first, man. We've had a lot of businesses that support the school, whether it was pregame meals, the city officials, recognizing the program, helping us get funds to even buy rings, man. Councilman Hilton and the mayor and all of the people that represent us, like giving back, and seeing people come out and, you hear there was a documentary that came out on YouTube about those old Carson banning games, and you hear about stuff like that and 20,000 people at the game and watching it, and how it's important to them. So to see a school that historically was a powerhouse be back on that level or pursuing that level again, man, and I never met somebody with a frown on their face. You talk to alumni or people in the community, and they see Carson. I was flying back from the East Coast with my wife, and I had on some of my Carson gear, and I'm in Georgia, and they like, hey, it's Carson in L.A.? Like, Carson? I said, yeah, I coached there. He was like, man, Colt Love, man, I live in L.A., and he's like, man, I always watch Carson, and I have family that went there, and this, that, and third. So many people be like, I wanted to go to Carson, I wanted to play with Carson and all this stuff. So it's just amazing to see that the Carson brand transcends L.A., California, the West Coast. It's national, man. South Bay, so many talented teams out there, with in that South Bay region of Los Angeles, and you kind of have to say whether it's Southern section, LA section, like if you're gonna go to a championship game, you're gonna have to see a team out of the South Bay, like you just are, and you can't get around that, and it's just a testament to how these young men and these programs are sharpening each other and the competitiveness that's out there.
I totally agree. So one of my best friends is Justin Garland, who is a Carson alum, and I kind of gave him before we went on the hiatus. Me and you had talked, and we had chopped it up about my future, right? And I took it to him. He's my pastor. He's one of the pastors at my church, and without even bias, right? Like, he was just like, bro, like, do you see what they're doing? Like, do you see the culture? Do you see the community? Do you see the backing? Like the Carson family and that Carson community is real. Mm-hmm. It is very real. So that is something that I'm super excited to be able to experience next year, because I know we talked. I'm coming out to a game. And then we've also chopped it up about future things, so that's something that's exciting to know that these young men get to experience that. Now, the one thing that me and you have always chopped it up about is getting these young men out. After winning a championship, we all know that it brings notoriety to your school, right?
Right.
How has recruiting as a whole been going for Carson since you've been on staff and since you guys took the ship?
I mean, recruiting is taking off, man. A lot of factors into that. One, having our head coach on campus every single day. It allows schools to be able to have a point of contact there. He makes himself available at any time a school calls, eval period, can we work out, different things like that. Being able to do that is huge. And it's a group effort, the coaches and the development and practices and off-season workouts, developing guys. I tell people the testament of our program is a young man named Royal Moore. Roy was a JV guy coming in, and he played varsity. He didn't have 100 catches. He had like 20 catches for 200-300 yards, right? So you looking from a stat standpoint, like, oh, but he had the skill set necessary to get like 6 Division III offers, playing for the #1 passing Division III program in the nation, who last year had 3 receivers hit the portal and go D1. He's going in and they project him to be a starter. So it is the development that you're getting from Coach Rich, myself, Coach Will, Coach Lowe, Coach Jack, Coach JB, Coach Jeff, all of us, Coach Vega, all of us are Coach Norris now, man. You think Carson was something last year, that old line is totally different. And the development, the knowledge that they have, because they were pups last year, and they just playing at a different clip. So it's like the development that they get helps the recruiting. So now when schools come on campus and they see them, it's like, okay, you don't have to have the stat, you just have to have the technique behind it. You have to be able to move, be tough, and we're developing that there. And it doesn't help to have a fire showcase. I think that we throw one of the better showcases around, and it's just from an organization standpoint, the outreach to schools, a variety of schools, that comes. It's not just your top tier, high level Division I guys. We have to earn that, but we've been blessed to have those type of schools on campus at our showcase. But the Division IIs, Division IIIs, NAIAs, JUCOs, though it's important to have relationships with all those schools because everybody's not Division I guy. And the thing that I don't ever want a student athlete to believe is Division I or bust. No, go get a good education, use football as a platform, and whatever doors are open for you. First of all, get that degree, but you never know where a coach is going to be at. They may be one school one today and another school the next day. But if you build that relationship and they've seen you development and growth, it happens. I personally believe every program needs to have a recruiting coordinator on staff. If you can't really have one dedicated person, then tag team it. It is the coach's position, coach's responsibility, recruiting coordinator's responsibility to develop these relationships with colleges. My wife laughs at me all the time because she ain't gonna say laugh. She cut her eyes at me when my phone ringing, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning because on the East Coast they up and popping. I have to make myself available, to advocate for our student athletes. And even meeting with them and making not only building relationships with the schools, but making our student athletes make realistic decisions and choices and understand this is where you are. This is your opportunities. Let's investigate every opportunity in this spectrum.
Totally agree.
Let's help you get to where you're trying to go.
Like before Jay asked this question, like my ultimate goal, right? Like we know that I've started this teaching journey and I want to progress, but my ultimate goal is to become an athletic director for a school. And that is the foundation I want to implement for all sports. If you are a student athlete at my school, we are going to explore every opportunity, every avenue for you to get to the next level if that's what you want to do. No matter the division, no matter the location, that's my goal as an athletic director, because it's not only benefiting the school, it's benefiting the community, the kids, and then it trickles down and it keeps growing, and that's how you build a program. So I love to hear that, because that is my ultimate goal, and that is something that is going to be a main foundation for me when I do finally achieve that goal. So that's dope to hear, Coach. That's dope.
There we go. Future AD of the year speaking right there. Coach, let's close the book on the 2025 season. Let's focus on the 2026 season. Your guys' preseason, it's been out for a while. It's no joke. You guys are going to play a historical California powerhouse in Lincoln of San Diego. Rematch against Palos Verdes. Rematch against North. Added on Mary Star. And then for me, I saved the best for last. It's a huge game, especially in the South Bay in general. You guys will be playing Long Beach Poly. How excited are you guys as a staff to take on those teams?
Man, we are excited, man. We have when you have a talented group of young men coming back like we do, you have to. We approach this season like, all right, it's time to spread the wings, And we have, as a coaching staff, we have faith in each other and we have faith in our student athletes, and we know what they can bring to the table, and we owe it to them. We owe it to this 27 class. When you have the Chris Fields, the thirds, and the Nate Williams, and the DJ Pattons, the Mikeys, and the AJs and the Preston Leomides, and you owe it to them to put them on that platform to really exercise the gift that they have. So it's like if because our mission is to be a top program, you have to go play top programs, and we didn't schedule them because we just want to be on the same platform. We scheduled them because we know we can win, and we know that we're on the same level. And
Nice.
I get that a lot of people, that's for everybody else to be out there wondering if last year was a fluke, or we already played them before and we seen. I'm telling you, it's a different mindset, bodies have changed, skill sets have changed. So when you look at a Lincoln out of San Diego, Coach Dunn and them, powerhouse, right? State champions. They always either open Division One down there. Much respect to them. So we want to be able to come out the gate and see where we are. You know, the Palos Verde game. There's a lot of stuff floating out there, but again, I'm. How can I say this nicely?
Don't say it, coach. Don't say it. Don't say it. Just we gonna let that game just play the way it's gonna
Yeah,
play.
it's gonna play the way it's
We not gonna say it
Yeah, it's not. Is we're much respect to the coaching staff out there,
like that.
but is these boys remember that's been burning in them. North Torrance. I'm sorry, like it burning in them. Like we looking at the big game, and the Polys and the Lincolns.
Yeah.
These boys are focused on they want their get back on the Palos Verdes and the North Torrances, because they know that they let that slip. So and this year we was really preaching the details of things to these young men. It's not about winning. It's about how we win. What are we doing within our responsibilities, and are we paying attention to the little things? And there's a focus that's there. So I'm excited as a coach, and as someone who works with these young men, to watch them in their element do their thing. And I'm not going to say we're not going to shock ourselves, but we're going to shock a lot of people, because we know what we got. We know what we're bringing to the table. The Long Beach Poly game is I know there's another show out there, and that gentleman said, I think I watched it, said he got like over 150,000 views, and Snoop done chimed in, and there's a comment, we don't know nobody at Carson, and who are they? We're Long Beach Poly and all this stuff. And one thing I learned in my life, man, is power don't respond to everything. At the end of the day,
Say that one more time. One more time.
power don't respond to everything.
Thank
So at
you.
the end of the day, 7 o'clock is going to strike, and we're going to have to strap them helmets up, and coaches are going to have to call plays, and we're going to have to execute. And one thing I know at 90745, and if you don't know what that is, that's the area code of Carson, California.
Yes, sir.
328 Main Street. There's a group of hungry young men out there that they're used to being doubted, and they're tired of being doubted, and they're trying to leave a legacy. And at the end of the day, those games aren't even our goal. Like, they're standing in the way of our goal. And that's what they have to understand, and we understand. And we respect them enough to put them on the schedule so we can see where we are. And I appreciate every team taking us, but we're gonna come, and we're gonna give it our best shot, 100% of what we have. And I know that what we have it's going to be good. So get your tickets for the games, man, because that front half of the schedule is scheduled for a reason. It's going to be fun.
I can't wait.
I will be shocked if that Poly Carson game is not sold out and there's people trying to sneak in, there's dudes trying to live stream it, whatever. But
I wouldn't
you
either, man.
bring
They got some dudes. They got 2 5
for
stars
sure.
or 4
Yeah, I
stars.
was gonna say that. Yeah.
But I think the person that said it best, and I got to rock with him, man, is our quarterback, the general. He said they got some guys, but we got some guys too, and
Yes, sir.
I don't care who we play. I got these young men on our side.
It's
Love it.
That's a great transition because you mentioned you have a great class of 27. The crown jewel of the class of 27 is your guys' quarterback, Chris Fields III, who just committed to Georgetown. What does that commitment mean to you as a coach?
Man, one to see a young man that's put in the work that he's put in, it pay off. It's special, man. Chris Fields the third is probably one of the most mature young men I've met in my life. He carries himself in the right way. He does all the right things. And what a lot of people don't understand is Chris had a lot of FBS offers and attention. There were even some high-level Big 12 programs that wanted to use him as, their emergency just in case. And he was being evaluated and looked at as some Big 10 programs and different things like that. And even with the FBS offers he had, it shows you the type of young man he is committing to Georgetown because you can't replace a Georgetown degree. So it's like he's still going to reach every goal that he has, and he blazes his own path. He doesn't have to go the same route that everybody else goes. So to have a program that believes in a student athlete as much as they do, and gave him the opportunity, showed him the love, and he was comfortable, with the direction that the program wanted him to go and the things to do. They're not trying, they believe, because this is one thing that bothers, I think I can speak for him a little bit, and Chris is not a running quarterback. Chris is a quarterback. Like, he can throw the rock and he can run with his legs, right? But he's not, a lot of people look at it, he's just an athletic guy that can run around. He can't really spin the rock. All right, come see him throw. He was just doing, when you have NFL guys throwing with him and they're impressed, don't tell me he can't throw.
I seen it firsthand.
Like, don't tell me he can't spin the rock. Don't tell me when the kid calls his own protections. He can audible at the line. He does he has grown so much, and that's not just him. It's all of them. The Nate Williams is probably the most underrated receiver in California, in my opinion. He's 6'2", can run every route, can snatch everything out the air. DJ Patton is probably the most explosive athlete that you'll find in that area, like from an offensive and a defensive side of the ball. Preston knows for the ball. Like, you don't make 100 tackles, by accident. He knows how to find the ball, plays rugby, sneaky athletic. Y'all gonna see something this year from him, even on the offensive side. We got kids coming back that were injured that people didn't get to see last year. You have some guys that were, we got some. You're gonna see some names. I'm telling you, and we've always have just been putting in the work silently, man. So we have Speedy, man, Eric Speedy Myers. I'm telling y'all thought that boy ran last year. He is so comfortable, looks so explosive, and it's just like a blur running across the field right now because of the understanding in the game. Like, you had 2 1,000-yard rushes last year. You had Chris threw for over 2,000-something yards, responsible for 43 touchdowns and only 4 turnovers, and they were just learning. So it's like, welcome people ahead of schedule. Zach Brock, got injured in the championship game, and he's ahead of schedule after his surgery and already moving around like nothing happened. And that's what I like. And then the young pups, The young pups, the 28s, Kingston Sula, number 11 in the nation, 16 sacks. As far as out of all of 2028, 25 tackles for loss, 95 total tackles. Playing multiple positions now on defense. So you're gonna have to see. And then he gained 24 pounds since the end of last year. Benny Salter. I mean, you can't. Deshaun White. Like, there's names like people need to be aware of and understand. This freshman class coming in. It's gonna be some freshmen that coming. When you're getting guys that decided to come to Carson instead of going to some of these Trinity League schools, and they have the size. I mean, you're getting 6 foot, 230-pound linebackers as freshmen that can move, or athletes that can make it do what it do. It's just like, man, it makes it fun. So yeah, 27 class is cool, but the thing I want to kill is it don't stop after 27. Like, it's more. Like, every year it's more. X Factor's coming, 29 class. It's sincere Baker Ross and this freshman. I'm telling y'all, this freshman class is just is something special, man.
Man, Coach, we've enjoyed this conversation. So before we check out of here, I got one last question. I'm gonna combine the two because you just touched on it. You got the future you got the now, you got the present, and you got the future already enrolled, and then you guys are building to go forward, right? Carson is the top school right now with football players that have multiple D1 offers.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? How does that make you feel? Because it's really unheard of in the city section. And what do you want to see the city section look like in 5 to 10 years from now? Now that we're setting a standard of having multiple D1 offers starting with you guys.
I mean, I think that one, how does it make me feel or us feel? But
Yeah.
again, it ain't a, y'all know me. It ain't a me thing. It's
It's a
everybody.
we thing.
And
Yeah.
but it makes us hungrier because if one school can see, all a kid needs is one opportunity. We don't believe in stacking offers. We don't need 20, 30, 40 schools. You can't go to all of them, right? But it makes us hungry to keep working and get. Because recruiting, I personally take personal, because it's a kid's future. I don't play with kids' futures. I don't play with their education. So you have to attack that head on. But it makes us feel good to see multiple kids, Division I offers, multiple kids, Division III offers. Like, we as a program, we want to blast those kids just like we're gonna celebrate you just like Alabama just offered you.
Facts. That's true.
Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you may have one Division I guy in your program. He may be a 5+ star guy. But if I got 13 Division II guys knocking you in your head, I think my chances of winning is a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it shows other kids that there's opportunities there. We've been blessed, man, to have, schools from all over the nation either come to Carson, reach out. Just because we don't blast everything online yet, it's just like you don't do that. But in 5 years, look at the work Coach Asante's doing out there in Hamilton. And, you have, he's constantly posting or doing something for his kids, advocating for them. Putting them out there. You guys, what y'all doing on the map, City Section News, Nick Ingram with South Bay Sports Radio, the Daily Breeze, all of them. Like, we keep getting these platforms to help us noise abroad the talent. And then schools are coming in and we're winning. We're playing against these guys. Like, at the end of the day, for me, I believe that in 5 years that the top guys are going to start staying home, and then the road to state championships are going to come back through LA.
Let's
Like,
go.
you can't deny that. Like, other schools are going to stay competitive. It's going to be good. Like, again, don't knock on another man's work, but at the end of the day, these schools are starting to become a lot more attractive to kids. and because they know they have an opportunity to play, they have an opportunity to get out, and I mean, we see it now. I think that there's a lot of kids this year that have come into the city section from the southern section. You tell me why that is.
Amen.
We just have to stay. We have to be consistent, though. I think one of the hardest things to do is be consistently consistent. So we have to do that. When we feel like we've hit a stride, continue to push and stay consistent in that, and everything else take care of itself, in my opinion. But 5 years from now, I see you're gonna see a lot more of those type guys in staying home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jay, you got anything else
sir.
before I cut us out of here?
No, just a little giving my 2 cents on Coach E's last answer. I agree. I think the city would be in the same place. Small little plug for me. I found an opportunity to plug my Twitter account. Coach E mentioned there's a lot of, at least this spring/winter break or whatever, there's been a lot of Southern Section kids coming into the city. If you guys do want just a little insight on which kids are transferring into City Section or transfer out of City Section, search up LA City Section on X or Twitter. I'm the account that shows up. First pinned tweet you'll see is a spreadsheet transfer that tracks all the transfers that I'm aware of. Not every transfer. There's plenty of transfers that I'm not aware of that are nowhere on that spreadsheet. But if you just want a glimpse of where some guys are going or have left, there's some Carson guys on there as well. Yeah, Coach E's aware. Hit up my page. But yeah, other than that, just want to show my gratitude towards Coach E. Our first guest back after a hiatus, man. Appreciate you so much and glad to be back.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to Coach Lowe, man, for giving me the opportunity to do stuff like this, man. Being an awesome head coach to work for. If you want clickbait, I'm calling it now. We're going back to back.
Back to back.
We're going back. That's funny. But honestly, man, let's blow up on the map, man. We have to, man. Support is free. So everybody that watched this episode, don't just watch it. Share it. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe on X. And let's just noise this thing abroad, man. The best way we can help ourselves as a section is to support each other. And when we support each other, we can't help but grow.
Amen to that, man. City Section, stand up. You know what this is? Again, to all our viewers, our subscribers, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. If you're returning, we thank you. We love you. I love you. My family loves you. We appreciate the support. Hey, you know what it is. I'm your boy, Coach Paul. That handsome young fellow over there is my co-host, Jay. We had the Open Division champion, Coach E, on the show. Shout out to Black Market Chicken and Never Waver Apparel. And until next time, peace.
Peace.